So this makes 2 Jennibellie videos this week. I mean, what's happening? Besides the fact that I am going to have to get my tripod because this is painful. Believe in yourself. So those of you that are savvy will have realised that this week is chance to be entered into 2 giveaways, because I have last week's video which is all about the creative shadow. If you are somebody that's ever dealt with a creative block, that is an important video. The birds are so noisy. The birds don't want me to shoot a video. It's like it's been strangled. Every time I think, at least they've got wings, they can fly away, they just circle right back around over here. So those of you that are savvy will have realised there's 2 chances to win this week. I'm doing 2 giveaways, one in the last video I just posted and one in this video. The last video is all about the creative shadow. If you are somebody that's ever dealt with procrastination, a creative block of any kind, resistance, analysis paralysis, overwhelm, FOMO, anything, that is a really important video. It's a really important video for helping you understand your creative shadow, what your shadow side is, what your creative instinct is, how they all work together, and what you can do when you are in any kind of resistance, any kind of creative block, how you can get out of it. So it's a really important video for you guys that ever struggle with any of that stuff. So that, I'll stick a card somewhere below, also has a giveaway in it for the Creative Resistance Remedy Workshop, and I'll do a giveaway in this video as well. So stay tuned for a second and I'll talk about that. This video is an art journal tutorial that I was putting into the Magic of You class, which I explained in last week's video. I'm no longer doing. This video though was going to go into that class as it's all about your most magical tool, because in that workshop, the Magic of You class, it was all about understanding all of yourself and how magical you truly are, all aspects of yourself, and accepting yourself, and diving deep into, you know, some of the shadow side as well as some of the positive sides that we put out to ourselves, looking at ego and all sorts of things like that. But at the beginning of every lesson, I was sharing a magical tool. Now this magical tool could be a physical tool, like literally something I was sharing with you to use, or it could be a practice or a process, something that you use internally, etc. It could have been anything. And that was at the beginning of every single lesson. So this video is about your most magical tool, and it's kind of towards the end of the workshop, because it was going to be kind of like a wrapping up once we've explored all of these magical things about yourself, or something that you could use to incorporate into yourself or incorporate into your practice, or, you know, something literally physical to use. This is kind of a physical thing because it's part of you, but it's just about appreciating that aspect of yourself, and by extension yourself as a whole. So I hope you like this video. It's kind of like how my classes are. It's more relaxed, it's more me chatting with my students and going through the process of this tutorial. You don't need very much, you just need a journal and a few supplies. So the giveaway for this video is the Remedies Junk Journal Workshop, because in the last video, which again you can still enter, haven't picked the winner yet, you can enter both of these giveaways and get a chance at 2 memberships of my classes. That was for the Creative Resistance Remedy Workshop, and people were still commenting saying, I'd love to be entered into win the Remedies Workshop. The Remedies Workshop I would really like to take. So I don't know if people didn't listen to the workshop I was giving away in that class, or if they were just saying, I want the Remedies Workshop. So I've listened to you if it was the latter, and here is another chance to win the Remedies Junk Journal Workshop. And that's it. Birds back. So like this video and leave a comment and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Same with the creative shadow video that I just posted, and you'll be entered into both giveaways, and I will announce the winner by the comments. It will always be in the comments below, guys, okay? Wish love, I hope you like this Magic of You little extract. Okay, my loves, welcome to my extraordinarily messy desk. It just is what it is with me at the minute, and I just have to allow it to be in order to carry on creating. So this video is all about showing appreciation for the most magical tool that you have, which is your hands. Your feet too are also pretty magical when you think about it. They carry you through life. Literally, they take you through life. But we're going to focus on hands because they pretty much do everything, you know, you could possibly require. They are the most magical tools because they are you, and so they are part of you, whereas the other tools I've shared are either things to incorporate into you, or they are physical tools to use. So I want us to focus a little bit and create an art journal page, which is an appreciation page of your hands. Now, believe it or not, I did actually start clearing this desk. I know. And as I was doing it, I came across this, and it's got a heart in the hand, and I thought, one of you guys sent me this, so I want to say thank you. It was a member of Journal Workshops who sent me these, but I can't remember who it was now. But the heart, I thought, okay, and I know what I'm doing with this page. So my page, first off, is a little bit thin. This particular journal has very thin paper in it, so I'm going to use these scraps that are left. If you guys have been on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, you'd have seen that I've been creating a lot just via pulling off whatever's on my desk, because there is so much junk on here. Of course it's not junk, it's treasure. So I'm just going to finish using up these scraps, which are from another project, just to bulk up my page. So you can do that too if you want to put a bit of collage down. And then you want a piece of collage big enough for your hand, for the actual page, and a little bit extra, and some paints. And then anything on top of that is just gravy. Any embellishing or anything you want to do on top of that is pretty awesome, but that's the basic things that you need. I just used some matte gel just to help give it a bit of stability. This is really thin paper, like incredibly thin, in this particular journal. But I won't let that stop me from making art in it, because if I want to make art in any journal, I will. But matte gel just helps a little bit more than glue, which is the alternative thing that I often use. So I've got a neat trick for not having to draw around your hand on the wrong side. So let me find something to actually draw with. I can't figure out. Okay, I'll use this big ass pencil, and we're just gonna use your non-dominant hand to draw around. So if you're right-handed, use your left. If you're left-handed, use your right. I don't think I'm seeing this very well. Okay, we need something else. So many pens, but what do you choose? Okay, I'll go for this Copic. Right. And this goes back to, I mean, what was one of the first drawings you remember doing? For me, it certainly was my hands. It's primal. They were the first things that we found art in the world on caves, you know. It's our handprint seems to be like a primal, our most primal form of art. And I think it's because it shows us our identity. You know, we are human. We have these things that other animals don't, and they are our most used, most sacred tools. I mean, back when you was putting them on the wall, they were for survival. They still are, even though we don't, you know, have to deal with the same stuff that we did then. But what I'm going to use for collage, for this little trick to alter how we draw on our hands, is this waste stamp page I did a YouTube video on, called My Fave Art Journal Supply, which it is, and I want this one, but it isn't big enough. I wanted this colour, but it isn't big enough, so I'm going to use this one. And again, I think it's show of appreciation for our hands, putting on here something that our hands made. Yes, this is stamps, and yes, it is just waste supplies, waste things. Worried all my scrap papers are blocking the light for you. But your hands have made it, and it's sort of honouring your hands to give something back to your hands on this page. So put your hand down on it and try and, I haven't got very much in the way of paper here, so I'm trying to conserve as much paper as I can doing this, yet still having a handprint spread out. And then draw around your hand again. And cut it out. And there you have your matching handprint. Of course, if you want to, you can draw around both of them if you want to, but it's a way of not having to try and scribble with the other hand, unless you're ambidextrous, which I would love to be, in all honesty. I do actually have an other hand journal. Do you want to see a non-dominant hand journal where I create with my left hand, and it's extremely difficult. It's really difficult, but it gets your creative juices flowing. To be able to do simple things with your left hand. Writing is difficult with a pen, for sure. And all of this is left-handed, so there's a lot more actually when you think about it that you do with your dominant hand as you're creating. For instance, I would be trying to like wash the brush and things like that with my right hand, or sticking washi down with the right hand, or pulling it off with the right hand, and trying to do everything reverse. It takes a bit of getting used to. So I'm using all kinds of different materials in this. There's paint, there's oil pastel. What's foil pastel. So if you want to do that, it's an interesting thing to do. So what you want to do is pick the colour of your other hand. I think I want teal. I want more of a bluey teal. I might mix that turquoise with a blue to kind of make an in-betweeny teal. Oh, that's a nice colour. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna heavily paint the hand. And now on this side, I'm going to kind of smush it on. And I'm going to use a wet wipe so that it's a light background and you can see the reverse through it. And look how little I used. It's like taken over the whole thing. Use a bit more, build it up a little bit. Just going to use a piece of tissue as well to give it a little bit of texture, because the thing about a wet wipe is when you add colour on with the wet wipe, the same time you're adding it, it is removing colour, whereas there's no, you can see it was dragging there, there's nothing wet on this, so it's one of my hairs. I'm putting some DNA into the my piece, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, because it's not wet, it drags a bit and it forms this texture, as you can see, like a little bit of a heavier handed way of doing it. Okay, now on this side I'm going to do a purple, because that's what the background of this paper is. So you can do something that matches your collage if you want, or if you just don't want to follow instruction too closely, put whatever you want in the background. I have, mind you, this is a little bit more pinky. I do have that colour, I'm having difficulty finding it. That'll do. Okay, so I'm going to do that colour. So it doesn't have to be perfectly matched. I mean, it's not... How is a brand new brush got the blue? Must be off of that brush. Okay, new brush, give me a new brush. There we go. I just threw medium everywhere because this is open. I'm a mess today, guys. Honestly, it's not just the desk. I am going to mix in, this is already thankfully quite a translucent acrylic. It's one of the Liquitex Basics ones, but some of them can be a little bit thicker. But to kind of thin it down a bit, I'm just using an airbrush medium. If you don't have that, the traditional thing to use is something I can't see where mine is gone. I don't know where mine's gone. It's another golden that I've particularly got that's one of you will know it. Acrylic extender or something like that. Blimey. I really am all over the place today, aren't I? Can't think of anything. Okay. Part of the shadow. Allow it in, embrace it. Some days are messier than others. Okay, and I've not allowed this to dry, so I'm just being a little bit careful at the edges. Not particularly, because yes, we're going to go over it, so don't stress too much. If you haven't done collage underneath, you don't have to worry too much. Now I don't know where I've put the... oh, it's there. I've got to laugh today. It's one of those days where you've just got to laugh at it. Whew, man. Yeah, it is quite a thin acrylic on its own. Okay, so I won't add any more of that. Just trying to find one of these to protect the rest of my pages. Yeah, if you haven't put a collage underneath, you don't need to worry about making it translucent. You can just do block colour if you want. It's just because I had to put down that extra layer. I'm like, well, I don't want to waste the look of a layer. So I incorporated it, but you don't have to. If you don't want to. I am actually going to lift this up a bit just so that there is a bit more obviousness that there's something going on there. So one of the things I wanted to chat about while I do this art journal tutorial with you is that your hands, oh, look. Your hands are one of the things that you can easily create self-care around. And to me, they are one of the most important. Like when people like go on and on about self-care and all they're talking about is pampering, you know, like beauty rituals. To me, actually, your hands and showing your hands some beauty love is actually a self-care thing for me, because you always see your hands. So it's something for you. You don't always, you know, at the minute I've got really hairy legs. That might be oversharing, but I hate to shave my legs. It bugs me, and I wish I was one of those women, like some of my friends and some of my cousins who have got such light hair that they can just not shave their legs all year round and no one will know. I can't do that, and it really bugs me. So I shave my legs for other people, you know, so that they can't see really hairy legs, you know, because our society doesn't tolerate really hairy legs. When you put your makeup on, it is for self-esteem, don't get me wrong, it is for you in that sense, but once you aren't looking in the mirror, you no longer get the benefit of it. You can't see your legs when you shave them, unless you look directly at them, and yes, again, shaving your legs could be for self-esteem, so that you feel hot, hot, hot in some lovely summer dresses or something, but the only thing to me, same with hair, again, it can give you self-esteem to look hot, hot, hot and have lovely hair, but unless you're looking in a mirror, you can't see it. Your hands are something that you, particularly as creatives as well, because they're always in our view, but they're always in our view all the time anyway when you think about it, no matter what we're doing. And so giving some love to your hands, whether via an art journal page, whether via some hand cream, whether via some nail polish, whether via some rings, whether via some bracelets, whatever. This is why you see me wearing jewellery. This is why you see me, you know, with my bracelets and think, well, there's a couple of reasons, because I like the crystal energy, but also I like the aesthetic. I like wearing, this is a very old ring that I've had since a teenager, and I never liked this ring as a teenager because I didn't think it was very pretty, but now I'm like, oh, it's boho, I like it. So I'm glad I kept it, but something that once upon a time when I was a teenager I didn't think was in vogue, so I wouldn't wear it because again of how other people interpreted it, now to me is a piece of self-care because I wear it for me. I wear it because I like it, not because it, you know, looks amazing. I wear it because I like it. That's so something that's important to me in a way because it's my heritage. These are my grandmother's hands. Okay, I'm the one in the family that got her hands. Obviously when she was younger, and I would paint her nails every week, even when she was an old lady before she passed away, because she really liked having pretty hands, because the same thing as an 80 approaching 90-year-old who sits there knitting, she doesn't have much to look at. She looks at the television, she looks at her food when her food is brought in, or her cup of tea, and her knitting. So she had dementia, so, you know, it was something that was important in a way, because you look at your hands and should notice her hands. Oh, I've got lovely nails. When we are older, kind of the nonsense gets stripped away and what's important is left, because there isn't much else left. And it's the small things, it's the family, it's, you know, the love in your life. You don't care. My grandma never knew who was Prime Minister. Ever. You know, she never knew who was Prime Minister. Things never bothered her in the external world. Things that she knew and noted were all the little things in her day-to-day life that mattered to her. Her roses or other flowers, you know. The children. If I brought her some crystals to look at, because she would like to look at crystals. Just little things that she would pay attention to. And you know what? She's a lot happier than most people in their 20s and 30s and 50s, and who are chasing other things. And there's a lot to be learnt about it. And this simple thing of just paying attention to your hands and giving your hands some love. I spend an extremely large amount of money on hand cream because I get uncomfortable hands anyway, but it's natural. All my products have to be natural. I spend a lot on hand wash because I'm always washing my hands, even before coronavirus. I wash my hands a lot. So it was, I'm going to add a little bit of dark purple to this page, I think. Maybe it was this colour I was trying to get at. Yeah, it was that one, wasn't it? Oh well. So it's something to do in a moment as well. It makes you just stop and give yourself a second when you put your hand cream on. And you can just be intentional with it. I'm, you know, giving myself this moment to put this hand cream on to show appreciation for the work that my hands do, the people that they feed, the children that they've raised, you know, the love that they've given. It's so small and simple, and I'm getting a bit fed up of seeing people always overlooking the small and simple things in life because they haven't realised that that's all you're going to be left with. So it's pretty incredible that anybody can overlook something as the power of their hands, the sheer miracle of a tool that you've been given in your hands. This is why I wanted to do this page, and just to talk to you about looking after your hands. Like here, I'm being lazy and not going to wash my hands, but I'm going to do this because I don't like things on my hands. Now I'm just going to add some black paint outline to the hands. And my grandmother always used to say when she would clock her hands, "Oh, look at my hands, don't they look old?" And that was something that kind of instilled in me. I'm going to use my new brushes. I bought this set of modelling, I think they were, brushes. And my hands deserve for me to use a nice new brush. Let's try this size. So yeah, you should always say, "Oh, look at my hands, don't they look old?" She'd do the same if she clocked herself in the mirror as well. "Oh, look at my face." But because I have my grandmother's hands and she has passed away now, I do kind of, you know, I feel that connection to her. She had longer nails, like thinner and longer, more beautiful, like piano fingers. But that might have just been as she got older, because I think they generally looked like mine when she was younger. So I do feel like I've been given something that I need to look after. We should feel like that anyway, about all parts of our bodies, and it's so sad we live in a society that kind of encourages the reverse. You know, particularly for the younger people who have to deal with all of that media. It's now social media, I guess, but at least there's always the other people that are saying the reverse in social media. There's always inspirational people also saying you don't need to look a certain way, etc. I think I picked too fat a brush, didn't I? But I'm going to stick with it. So I'd really like to encourage you, if you're somebody who, I have a cousin who has 4 children and she has no time for herself, as you can imagine. Well, actually she has 5 children because, you know, her husband. But she has no time for herself, and she uses lip balm, and so I was giving her some lip balms for things, and I said, oh, the accompaniment to lip balm to me is hand cream. And I tried to give her some and she was like, no, no, I don't want that, because if I start that, I'll have to keep it up, I'll have to do that. And I'm like, you need to give yourself some time, some self-care, something. But, you know, I'm like, let him look after them for 3 seconds while you put some bloody hand cream on, lady. He can cope, but it's a thing, particularly with women, that we have to sacrifice and won't look after ourselves. And even though we know that that's a false economy, you know, but it was a choice she made. You know, she'd gotten addicted to using lip balm and saw that as a bad thing. Like, oh, I have to, when I wake, because I do the same thing. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I have to put lip balm on before I go back to sleep. And often hand cream. At the minute I have a lavender one by my bed, so if you want something that's dual purpose, a lavender hand cream for your bedside is brilliant, because it also gives you that, you know, shot rather than having a mist or something. A lavender mist next to your bed, which I also have. Or lavender oil. It's dual purpose. It does 2 self-care things in one for you. So just try to be mindful of that, and if you're sacrificing anywhere, like my cousin, just remember that's a choice, and you can choose. You can choose to take these 3 seconds to put some hand cream on. The world isn't going to end. The world actually doesn't need you that much. This is something else we aren't told as women. We're told to hold up the world. And I can say this because I see this, because I don't do it. You know, because I haven't had the kids, and people say to me certain things, and it's like, yeah, it's because I haven't got the kids that I can see. Certain things. In that, you know, the kids are playing happily right now. You can take a breath. You don't need to always be holding your breath for somebody else. The natural instinct of everything on the planet is to stay alive. You don't need to keep the whole population alive. They'll cope for a few minutes. And it's not even like you even have to really take your eyes off them. And I'm talking about children here as just an example of anything that you're doing. Because I might not do it in that area, but I probably do it in other areas, you know. It's a universal tendency. So this talk of hands in this page is just to bring us back to our inner magic that you can actually see on the external in this case. Total magic. Thousands of years of evolution to get this. It created who we are as a species, really. You know, where would we be without them? Certainly wouldn't be exactly where we are. Who knows if that's a better or worse thing though, really. But they're still magic. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of black down the bottom here just to fill in this gap that I have going on, because I tried to save some of my page. And so I'll match that up on this side. Now I'm going to take the biggest piece of paper that I have left over, and I'm going to use it to the best of my ability to maximise the paper. Just going to draw a heart. And it reminds me very much of the heart in hand art pieces of South America. If you know the name of them, post that below. I can't remember, they have a particular name. And or there's the heart with the flames as well. Okay, so what we need to do on this side is draw around our heart to make sure that we get it right. And as you see, I flipped it over because it's going to go over that way. So I flipped it over so that it was symmetrical, because I hand drew the heart. It isn't automatically symmetrical. If you want a symmetrical heart, fold your page over like that and then cut around one side. As you can see, there's extra space on this side. It isn't perfectly symmetrical. But that's how you get a symmetrical heart if you want one. Create a crease in the middle. I left it more organic. So I'm just going to trace around it, but reverse to make sure that they look semi the same. Doesn't have to be perfectly the same, but semi the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around this one as well, actually, because I'm going to use a pink to paint around it. Because we're going to show our fingers some love as well. This is just an outline so I can get the spatial awareness. But we're also going to show our fingers some love. So I'm going to use pink. You can, again, use any colour that you want. And I have a particular pink in mind for this, if I can see it. Oh no, I haven't had the light on for you guys. Oh. I'm so sorry. I thought there was something going on with the light earlier, looking at the... I thought it was all the scrap paper I was pulling out. Guys, today, honestly, I've left this cap off. Oh my lord. It's one of these days where I should really just go back to bed. So when you do this, you want to... Ooh, nice little blob there. You want to go over the line because you don't want to start there from the line perfectly, because when you put the heart down it might then not cover it. So go over all the way with the colour of your choice. Here we might as well do the fingers. Okay, back to the blue. match that up that I just did at the bottom with, on the other side. Okay, where's the lid? Pop the lid on. Okay, so I'm just going to stick down this heart. I'm going to use my finger so I get into the texture of the paint. I'll get it exactly where I want it. Okay, with these hearts I'm going to use a Posca pen, paint pen. Ooh, get it working. Just go around the hearts so I don't have to battle. Oh, mind you, I started with that little paintbrush, didn't I? That would have done it. Oh well. And I did just give the, though it is still a bit wet, I gave it a blast with the hairdryer. Okay, at this stage you can pretty much do whatever the heck you like. It's total artist choice. So I might go around these hearts, and I'm thinking glitter paint. Maybe glitter around the hands, or on this black line, or over the black line, or behind the black line. And you can also do something to give it symmetry if you want. So you can create a border that includes both pages so that it's kind of obvious it's together, and you know, it's all about symmetry. So have at it now, just have a play, see what you want to do to make it your own. Okay, I don't think you can see the glitter from above the desk, so I'm bringing you down to take a look, because it is really doing it for me. This is really all glitter that has got like lots of lumps and stuff in it, but the gold glitter, it's not showing up very nicely on camera, but it is looking lovely in real life. Oh, glitter does it. Glitter honours your hands. Glitter is the way to go. Can you see it now? I've gone over the black with the glitter, and I really like that effect because it kind of draws the hand into the background. As you look at it, it kind of merges, blurs it a little bit. It's not showing up very well on camera at all, but it's a really gorgeous effect, and then making it come out kind of like it's the magic. It's the magic emanating from your hands. Such magic, such power. It's shown via glitter. Obviously magic equals glitter, duh. Okay, I think I'm done for now. I might add a few more doodles to it later, but I'm happy. Or embellishments. I went with the flat stars, you know, the gold stars that you get at school, because this is in my writing journal, and embellishments would annoy me to have to then try and write over. But you can add anything if that doesn't bother you. Add any dimensional things that you want to. I'm really liking the gold. Something magic about gold as well. Now, I was going to go all symmetrical, but in the end I wrote my magic for the very simple reason that this can be a space where you come back to just do this. And just remember your magic. If you wanted to, you could do something like a canvas in this and keep it in your studio to remind yourself of this. Remind yourself of the magic that you have literally coming out of your fingertips. You're a creative being, so you more than anybody have magic in these things. You may also recognise some of your lineage, as I do, in your hands. And I'm not talking aesthetically there. Yes, I have the hands of my grandmother, but I mean more the skills that they have. So I have many generations of creative people going back that worked with their hands, and you will too. Even if you don't know, like, your mum or your dad or your granddad or grandma, you might not know people immediately that had the skills, but you won't have to go far back, because people used to be a lot more creative than what we are in our society now, and that was through necessity. So you only have to go a little way back, and unfortunately for the majority of us, you go a little way back and our line gets poor. You know, it's only a couple of generations you have to go back where our families were poor, and that's because of the war, because of Victorian and Edwardian times, and the, you know, there wasn't as much as what there is now. So because of that, people were more creative, because they had to be. These were survival tools. Now we use them for the magic of creation. But even if you don't recognise physically your lineage, there is that magic in you as well, going down through ancestors. As I said, the first paintings ever discovered were of hands. This is in our blood, this magic. So you can do a canvas for your studio. I think that would be beautiful, to replicate this on a canvas and have that to just tap into, just to remind yourself of. And that's why I wrote my magic, to remind myself of, you know, so when I come back to this page, it isn't just, oh, that's a nice page of hands. No, this is a page of my magic. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this art journal page. Post your pictures below. I would love to see what you guys do in terms of making this gorgeois yourself. Much love, everybody.